Welcome to this edition of Toolkit Tuesday. I'm Trisha Clark, Director of Marketing here at Dealership Toolkit. And joining me is Chris Reeder. He's the Internet Sales and Digital Advertising Manager for Lerch RV in Pennsylvania. How are you?
I'm doing well, Trish. How about you?
I'm doing very well. How are you faring right now? You're finally back to work. You're allowed to sell in the state of Pennsylvania now, so you're probably thrilled about that.
We are absolutely thrilled about that. That was the best news we've had in several weeks. So
I'm sure.
Challenging times, but we're pushing through. It's actually been a really good week since we've first started back to selling. So I'm not gonna. The demand's there. I think it might be pent up demand, but it's doing pretty good here in Central PA.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm happy for you. Happy for all of our dealers here in Pennsylvania. Finally, we were hanging in there. We were the only ones not able to. Well, one of the only ones not able to. So today we wanted to talk about just what dealers have been doing, what you're currently doing, what led you to certain decisions. So I'm assuming, like most, when COVID hit, you decided that you were going to cut your budget. Did you decide what did you do? Where did you go from there? Was it advertising that you cut? Obviously you had to release some of the team, I'm assuming, but when it comes from an advertising and marketing, and what are the things that you looked at and said, hey, we've got to do something. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan.
We've definitely cut. As soon as the first mandate came down from Governor Wolf, we got together. I mean, I think it was a Tuesday afternoon, and by Wednesday we had people on pretty much on furlough. We cut pretty much overall after we got just shy of 50 employees, part-time and full-time. Majority of us are full-time. We cut pretty much 2/3 of that. We trimmed the staff, went down to skeleton staff because we only, at the time, were only allowed to be open for parts and service departments were allowed to be open. We went from 9 full-time techs down to 3. We kept our service supervisor, our warranty manager, parts manager, pretty much all the manager stuff stuck around. Salespeople pretty much all started working from home. And even at that time, we didn't have no guidance as far as if we were allowed to sell. If we weren't allowed to sell, eventually it came down, we weren't allowed to sell digitally. No virtual sales, no digital, nothing. You could do everything up to the point of actually closing the deal. Of course, that, like I said, that we've discussed, that's changed over the past week.
Right. What about from an advertising perspective? Did you keep going? Did you cut? Did you not?
We absolutely, that's one of the first things I had to look at. I was pretty much forced to look at from the owner. We definitely made cuts. We took our digital advertising budget, one over that, our AdWords, our pay-per-click expenditures. We started cutting a lot of the digital advertising in half. We do not do traditional advertising. We don't do print. We don't do radio. We don't do TV. Our advertising is pretty much 90% digital and probably 10% direct mail pieces throughout the year for on-lot sales, in-house, open house type of things. Of course, that we weren't doing that because we weren't technically being open. So, we usually have our annual open house in May, and we pretty much sliced the whole budget for that.
But you still had leads coming in, yes?
We still have a lot of leads coming in. If you want to look at that, you take the analytics, especially from, if you start looking at Google Analytics and look at the volume of traffic. Yeah, we did. You could see it. I mean, we came out of this year. We started this year excellent. We came out of the gate strong. Hit turn 1. We were in the lead and we were selling. I mean, January was stellar. February was our second best February ever in 43 years.
Wow.
And then, of course, first week in March, the bottom pretty much fell out. I mean, as it has for a lot of people, but the internet traffic slowly started. I was expecting a pretty much, hitting the old cliff and a complete drop down.
Yeah,
But
I think we all were.
Gradual downturn, and then it bottomed out probably. I'm sitting there looking up at my calendar. I'm going to say it probably bottomed out somewhere around April 4th, April 5th. And then it has slowly been on the upside. I mean, I was checking it out. I mean, as of the end of last week, our traffic was up 60%.
Wow.
From the previous.
That's great.
So every week it's been gaining ground. And we're back up now pretty much from the April 19th until probably even today, the 28th. We're back up, if not above, where we were a year ago.
That's great. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a demand. I mean, people are ready to get out and move.
I
know they can't physically get out and move yet here, and I think we're going to be one of the last ones to actually get back to that. At least in the state, I know in the state of Pennsylvania, where I am right now, we're in a very heavy area that they're not expecting it to be lifted. But where you are in Pennsylvania, I don't know. I know that they're releasing more, allowing campgrounds to start opening again, and the boat marine. A lot of the Marines are allowed to start opening again. So hopefully you'll have more of that traffic coming through.
Yeah, it's definitely. They just announced yesterday that private campgrounds were allowed to open May 1st,
yeah.
And so that's nice. I mean, it's it goes to the point of we were allowed to sell product that nobody could actually go out, use, and enjoy like they're designed to do, but now they can. And now I know I got some really good friends with a lot of campground owners, and now they're scrambling to bring their employees back and get the logistics, because they had. At the time, they had no clue when they were going to be allowed to open. All of a sudden, the switch is turned, and I got
It's a good problem to have, though.
It's a great problem to have for him. But that's what I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He said, as soon as the governor announced that, his cell phone started just blowing up with calls, and he had He said he had 65 calls and missed calls in 15 minutes.
Oh wow!
So
people are excited and they want to get back in. I don't blame them. So speaking of calls, right? You just started actually working with us in January, so before COVID hit, and then COVID hit, and you continued to work with us. What was the deciding factor of you work with our BDC currently, so you utilize a virtual BDC. First of all, tell me what your decision led to moving into a virtual BDC, to utilizing an off-site team.
Using the offsite team, actually, it wasn't. I've been wanting to do it for a little while now, but of course, change always has your pushback, your push and give. And, change around this dealership is hard to implement because we have a very we got long-term employees. Our turnover here is non-existent. I mean, it's a great problem to have.
That is a very nice problem to have.
But you also run into the fact that you have people who've been doing their jobs forever, and they're set in their ways. They like how they're doing it, and it's just one of those things. But we hit this point this year, and what kind of led us to really reach out to Toolkit and jump on board, pretty much, with both feet, is the fact that we lost our longtime sales manager, decided to retire this year. He pretty much announced at the end of last year, and he pretty much retired February 1st, which is about the time we fully came on board with the BDC. We jumped on a lot of the other products, the GMM, the AST, a lot of the other products January 1st. We got the BDC up and running on February 1st. But yeah, with our longtime sales manager stepping down, and he was with the dealership all but 6 months we've been open. So he's been with us, 42, a little over 42 years.
Wow.
He retired.
Years. I can't imagine being somewhere 42 years. That's impressive. But you know what? It speaks volumes about the dealership that you have such long-term employees.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could sit there and start listing, years of service, and people get crazy. I mean, most of our techs have been here over 25 years.
Wow.
Service manager's been here over 35. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on.
That's great.
But once he retired, our financing manager, or pretty much our business manager, stepped into the sales manager role. So, and she is like me. She likes to implement new technology. She's not afraid of new technology or not afraid to use technology. But we do a team selling here. We don't do individual commissions for individual salespeople. We act as a sales team.
Okay.
And I say we because I'm part of it. I'm more removed now than what I previously was over the last decade, because we've actually hired more salespeople. But we share leads, we share information. It allows, we work 6 days a week. It allows each individual salespeople to kind of tailor their schedule. They can have a day off during the week if they want.
Right.
They don't have to be here. They don't got to be at home, monitoring their phones, monitoring all their communication. They can actually get home and, be at home and not be at work. Of course, that's totally opposite of what they are now. They are at home and at work, but
right.
COVID-19. But the BDC, and it goes back to how we looked at the digital advertising and decided to cut it. We didn't. The thought process of cutting the BDC or dropping or never crossed our mind. I mean, we looked at it, said, okay. BDC, okay, we're keeping that, and we started going down through it because the BDC has created, I don't want to say, not necessarily created leads because they're handling the leads. Leads are there, but it's created, it's another part of our team. They don't feel like they're off site. They feel like they're just down the hall in the office next door. Our sales team love them because it's freed them up from having to handle all the simple leads on the phishing leads. I mean, it has allowed them to pursue the stronger leads, the actual buyers, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, and a little bit harder. And that's, it goes back to us having our sales team, and we do the team selling, but we also do an open lot policy. We don't bring in the customer and sit them down and say, hey, you're looking at these 2 or 3 units. Let's go out. We're going to hold your hand. We unlock our 200, 250 trailers every morning. And
just let them go.
Let them go. I mean, we got information, everything. There's pertinent information in each unit, there's specs and all the whatnots. But yeah, I mean, everybody loves it. We try to make RV buying easy, and the BDC has allowed us to continue down that path. I mean, it's being able to communicate with the BDC every day. I mean, there's not a time when we're not communicating with them. And as I said, they've become an integral part of our sales team. And it's just like, they're employees of Lerch RV.
Are they handling everything for you inbound wise?
They handle pretty much everything. Except direct phone calls. Now we do have several different phone numbers out there as far as advertising and call tracking, call review, and all that good stuff. But anything pretty much come from the website, the BDC handles, even phone calls. Now, if a customer dials our direct 717-667-1400 number, it rings through to here. So the BDC is not getting those phone calls, but RV trader leads, any third-party lead we have out there, all the leads from the website, all the leads, anything from pay-per-click, anything. Of course, we're doing your TSO. We're doing the online social leads through dealership Toolkit. They handle those leads. So yeah, pretty much any digital aspect, the BDC's handle. They touch them first. They touch those customers first. And what we love about it, it's the BDC through Toolkit. Everything Toolkit offers is tailored. I mean, it's not a one-size-fit-all.
No, it's definitely not.
So, and, being a small, relatively small dealership in rural central Pennsylvania, I mean, we're surrounded by Amish farm fields. They didn't like say, here, take it or leave it. It's, we're going to make this work for you. And that's one reason we love it. I mean, everybody we've come in contact with at Toolkit has been wonderful. So
that's good to hear. I'm sure they'll all love to hear that from you. So what is the team doing for you? Is the team setting the appointment? Are they just handling the initial first touch? Are they doing initial follow-up with a lot of those leads? I mean, what's the difference that you've seen from going, without them to now having them?
The big difference is the fact that every customer is being touched. We're not, not without a perfect policy and having everybody completely being, somebody breathing down your, I mean, everybody drops the ball. And we tried to, over the years, when I first got here a decade ago, we were not, we had a lot of in-house process, a lot of in-house systems. And then we finally reached out and actually got a CRM and followed that path. And our CRM did a lot of great automated stuff. So that helped a lot of our follow-up that we didn't have. Bringing the BDC on is the fact that now every lead is getting, they're getting touched. The BDC is handling the initial, they're setting appointments. That's one thing. Since we were an open lot dealership, one thing we did not do is set appointments. We set appointments now. That has greatly increased lot traffic. I don't want to say greatly increased. It's it's kind of made it manageable to a certain extent.
Right.
So we know when people are actually coming in, they just don't show up.
So you just started setting appointments recently?
Oh yeah, yep.
Since January.
Yep, and we saw it where, I mean, over the past, like I said, we're in our 43rd year now. Opened up in 1977. We just never set sales appointments. We've always just kind of left everybody come and get. And we do 800 to 1,000 units a year. We're not, like I said, we're sitting on 35 acres. We have 18 service bays with 14 more in production. So it's going to give us 32 service bays, probably the largest facility in Pennsylvania when it's all said and done.
Right.
We just, I feel we're running at 4.8 Google, 4.8 Google rating. We wouldn't
like working with Lerch.
Yeah.
We love working with you guys.
No, that's great to hear too. Like I said, we love working with you guys.
That's great.
But utilizing the BDC during this time period, and we've just talked about it with the team, our team, the other day, is the fact that we think keep not dropping the BDC and continuing with the BDC through this COVID-19 crisis that's gripping everybody has allowed us to maintain that strength, that lead, because we still are reaching out to everybody. It's not, feel it's become a strength of us, of our dealership.
And it had to be a different process, but your team embraced it.
Absolutely, it's been a different process. I mean, yeah,
But they seem to be embracing it though, which is great.
They have, and there were some long-term salespeople that I was leery about when we first came on. It's like, this is, and they're not necessarily technologically advanced, or they don't like tech that well, but I thought we were going to have some issues, but I mean, from Jump Street, they've been on board. So
that's great. Now that you are open, though, moving forward, will the BDC?
The value's there. I don't see the value dropping when it comes to the BDC. Like I said, we've embraced them to now they're a part, an integral part of our team. I don't see that changing. It's a great strength. I think that's going to continue. Sales are ticking up. I know since we were legally allowed to start selling last week. Something it's kind of hard to. I've been coming to work every day, and I still don't know what day of the week it is half the time.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I don't know. But when the mandate came down, we were allowed to do virtual online sales and actually ship stuff and get stuff out to the customer. We've done probably about 28 units, so about 28, 30 units in a week. So,
wow.
As I said back in the beginning, the demand's there.
Yeah.
People want to get outdoors. They want to go out and enjoy their time with their family. What the new norm for camping is going to be interesting, but until people
what the new norm for anything is going to be going to be very interesting.
Whatever the new norm is, we'll have to wait and see what the new norm is, and then we'll decide how we're going to handle that. But I mean, we love them. There's absolutely no, and don't get me wrong, there's been some growing pains.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's just like hiring any new employee. You're going to have those growing pains until you get the teamwork down and everybody's getting along with each other, and then it flows really smooth.
Yeah, and you did it relatively quickly. I mean, coming on in January, well, more with the BDC in February. I think it moved along pretty well, and I know Megan and Aaron are extremely happy about the progress that you guys have all made, and sounds like you guys have a seamless relationship going there.
With the lady, between Megan and Aaron's been, she's been worth her weight in gold. So I'll tell her. But
I'd love to hear that.
I mean, like I said, if anybody's thinking about coming on board with Toolkit and thinking about using the BDC, don't be a decision you won't regret. That to me an example of the team that I'm working with at Toolkit.
Right.
You guys are all, extremely. You look out for your clients, so and that's a true blessing for us.
We love to hear that, especially me. Chris, I can't thank you enough for hopping on today and talking. I know that you're just getting yourself back in and moving forward in Pennsylvania, but we appreciate you. And we look forward to moving forward and growing even more. And we're just so happy that you're able to finally get back out there and sell. So we're glad that we're thankful for the relationship.
Yeah, I'm thankful for our relationship that we have with you. And thanks for having me on today.
No problem. I look forward to talking to you in the near future.
All right. Take care, Trish.
Thank you.